Okay, before I get started, I would encourage you to go to YouTube, type in chemical trails, and look at some of these videos. This particular one's probably a really good one where the pilots, doctors, and scientists tell the truth about chemical trails. The chemical trails have been reported even in the United Nations. Been reported, spoken about by university. The military has actually come out, as I understand it, and has admitted geoengineering. So just keep that in mind with what I'm about to show. So here you can see where I typed chemical trails, UN. And here you can see where this is. This subject was discussed at the United Nations. Chemicals are argon, barium, and aluminum, which are being sprayed, and so they're being used for geoengineering, or maybe for other nefarious purposes. Now here's a plane right here that we saw in the sky, and notice that there is nothing behind the plane, nothing coming out of the plane. Now on the same day, here's another plane. So maybe this particular plane is higher in the sky. What's particularly interesting about this is that this particular trail is actually disappearing, which is what you would expect from a contrail. You would expect a contrail to actually disappear. I know this particularly because I am an engineer. Now, these are photos I've taken in the past, and these are not contrails. These are some type of experiment. These are actually chemical trails, and this is how these chemical trails dissipate, and actually how they spread out and seed clouds or spread within our atmosphere. Hello, it's Chris Mitchell. It's February 14th, 2016. The rest of what follows are videos that I took today while doing horse lessons. I am very exhausted. I don't know if you can tell, but if I look a little unusual, it's because I am very tired. But anyway, besides that fact, throughout the day I took several videos because they chemical sprayed all day long, and I really want to know, what are they spraying in our atmosphere? And I think that we all ought to know what they are spraying in our atmosphere. We are today watching the debates of the GOP debates, perhaps the Democratic debates, and we're watching about all the different things that are going on in this nation. We're hearing about people in industry, outside of industry, talking about clean water and clean air and all these different things. And, you know, many of us understand that we need jobs, and we need to do the right things to protect our environment. But the question I asked is, what are we spraying in the air? And what job does that add? Because I'm not sure that really adds a job. I'm not sure what it's doing. And so I'm going to remember to pray for my nation, because I love my country, and pray for its people. But I think we need to be asking questions, because others are asking questions. Others are becoming more aware. And I think we all need to be more aware of what's happening in our midst, in our own backyards. Yes, we need to be greater stewards of the environment, but there are people that are telling us to be greater stewards of the environment, but yet they're spraying something in the air. Now, that doesn't make any sense to me. So enjoy the rest of what follows in the video, and I encourage you, please do your own research. Again, this has been shown to be true in the United Nations. What I'm telling you is not anything that a pilot wouldn't agree with, a doctor wouldn't agree with, others haven't brought forth. It's just the public has not fully grasped what's going on yet, because what they have hidden this with is the fact that some jet engines put white smoke out on a cold day. But I want to ask you a question. When next time you fly, because I have flown probably nearly 1 million miles all around this world, but every time I looked out of my airplane, I never saw white smoke coming out of an engine. If I ever saw white smoke coming out of an engine, you better believe that I'd be knocking on the knocking on the cockpit door, or getting a flight attendant, getting them to knock on the door, saying, "Hey, there's something wrong with the engine out there." But it's not to say that some white smoke on a cold day shouldn't happen, but what is happening up there in the atmosphere, this trail that stays and does not dissipate, does not disappear. It cloud seeds, or it's chemicals. According to some of the stuff I've heard from the United Nations and from other researchers who have spoken on the subject, it's argon, it's aluminum, it's barium, and we should be concerned. We should be very much concerned, and we should be speaking with our legislatures and asking them questions. What is being sprayed? Why is it being sprayed? Because, in my opinion, it needs to be stopped. But that's just my opinion. Until then, I'm going to continue to love my country, pray for my country, pray that God would raise up righteous leaders. Amen. So enjoy the rest of what follows. For the rest of what follows are little clips that I took all throughout the day. Thank you for watching.
These are not contrails, that is what came out of a jet engine. These are chemicals being sprayed into our atmosphere. You can see how they're dissipating. Supposedly a clear day today. It's just terrible. We talk about how we don't want to bomb a tanker in Syria because we don't want to pollute the air. But then we're doing this stuff in the air. Geoengineering. Isn't this just crazy? Maybe this is an example of cloud seeding. You can see over here where the contrails, chemtrails, whatever you want to call them, how they have dissipated out now. It's been several minutes, probably 30 minutes or longer, and now they have turned to clouds. It's an example of cloud seeding. Look up over this way. You can see them over this way, the fresh ones. And over here. Man, look at what these chemtrails have done now. I turn them the other way. It's 2:10 p.m. October 14th. It is 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Alabama, and our moon is out. She's been out about an hour or more now. There she is. And over here, panning over toward our south, is our sun. A lot of chemtrails out today. I don't know if you can see that plane out over that way. It'd be hard to see with this particular camera, but there's this gorgeous moon. Okay, it is February 14th. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, I think 5:10. You can see that chemical trail that is moving through. And I'm going to pan over and show you the moon. You can see that chemical trails that they're showing, and I guess, I mean, is this what they're trying to hide? Is this what they're trying to cover up? Makes me wonder. I mean, because they've been spraying all day.
Okay, so here is a chemtrail or a plane that I've zoomed in on. I don't know if this is a chemtrail. I'm assuming that all these are chemtrails. What's very suspicious to me about these is that the trail does not disappear. It should within a few minutes disappear, and it does not disappear. It lingers. It lingers for 30 minutes to an hour, if not more. And so I want to encourage you to do your own research. Look at the United Nations report. Look at some of the reports coming out of the universities and ask legislatures some questions. We all need to be aware. Thank you for watching.